We got this from the Post Millennial. 6 dead after helicopter crashes in the Hudson River near Manhattan due to a helicopter crash in the Hudson River. The vicinity of the West Side Highway and Spring Street expect emergency vehicles and traffic delays in the surrounding area. So there is video. 2 adults and 5 children were aboard the helicopter. That's very sad. That crashed into the Hudson in New York. And that's what this is. They believe that all people are dead. So it looks like 6 are dead, but there were 7 there, which is horrifying. Donald Trump has issued a statement saying terrible helicopter crash in the Hudson River. Looks like 6 people, the pilot, 2 adults and 3 children are no longer with us. The footage of the accident is horrendous. God bless the families and friends of the victims. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy and his talented staff are on it. Announcements as to exactly what took place and how will be made shortly. So there are some images that have come out. You can see here, this is the principal, I don't know what you'd call that portion of the helicopter, the main body of the helicopter.
Yeah, the rotor came clean off, too. There's like a video.
Tail's gone.
Yeah, the thing just like disintegrated in midair because like after it crashed, you see the rotor just kind of floating down.
Man, you were on your way here when the news broke, though.
I was on my way here, yeah, from New York. I was not.
Wow.
I was not.
It was interesting you said before the show that there's like a lot of helicopter tourism, or is it not just
Yeah,
tourism?
it's a big thing in Manhattan for tourists where basically there's all these helicopter companies where you go up in the helicopter and they just kind of fly you around Manhattan. You get this bird's eye view of the city. But then there's also these helicopter transportation. Like sometimes you can take a helicopter like in crazy traffic to JFK Airport and it's cheaper. I think it's called Blade. And it might be like the same price as an Uber.
Really?
Yeah, or like maybe like a little more. But like people, if you're like some hedge fund guy and you work in Greenwich, Connecticut, you're like, yeah, I could drive an hour and a half, or I can just drop a G and take the helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, if you were like, But I thought you said that it was like the same price as like an Uber, like.
Well, to go to the airport.
It's like
sometimes, like when it's
$100.
Yeah, it's like sometimes
yeah,
like
yeah.
through.
That's totally worth it. If it's like $300 and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh man, I can go ahead and sit in
Blade.
traffic
It's
and
on
deal with all the stuff.
Yeah, it's on the east side, like 34th Street area. Essentially, they have like a little pad.
I do think, however, most people would just spend the $5 for the train.
Yes. Although you know what?
Wow.
Oddly, in New York City, the airports are pretty inaccessible by train. It's not like it's not just like a train straight there. It's you gotta take a train, like a bus.
Yeah, but you can get a
train.
You can get a train at JFK, can't you?
I don't think there's a direct one. It's like there's a train to near JFK, and then there's a bus.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yep. It gets you close to JFK, and then
It gets you close, but
anyone see the news thing today where there was a man arrested for having sex with a corpse on the subway?
Oh, I saw it.
in New York?
That's a good reason to not take the train.
If you can afford the $200
Yes,
Uber,
absolutely.
$200.
I mean, I take the train almost every day. I've yet to see. I've seen a lot of stuff.
No sex
I haven't
with corpses?
seen sex with corpses.
I guess it's definitely.
But I've seen what I can presume to be a deceased person. But the problem is everybody in New York City is just so cold and where nobody checks to see, like, you just assume, yeah, the guy's probably passed out or something. But
I do think we're like socially dissolving.
Yeah.
Because people are absorbing information from it's increasingly decentralizing. So even now, I mean, if you go back 10 years on YouTube, when YouTube was newish in the podcasting space, YouTube hated it. People got way more views than they get these days. I'm like talking about like Young Turks, for instance. Like their views are way low relative to where they used to be. Mm-hmm. Everybody has been decentralizing. Even, with all due respect, Joe Rogan's views appear to be lower than they were 4 or 5 years ago, because more and more channels keep emerging and people are seeking out their hangouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we're 5 years away from podcasts having, like 300 viewers, and it's just people basically hanging out with their buddies.
Yeah.
That's about it.
If you could monetize like residual monetizations, so like
monetize the monetization?
Yeah, so whereas one you might get like 5% of that podcast revenue, and then that guy gets 2% of your revenue. So there's these webs, because it won't be about one guy gets all the views in the future.
You're doing like subprime mortgages for podcasts.
And I'll tell you, I got an idea for you, Danny. You're going to make a lot of money.
We're going to collateralize the loans.
So imagine this. You mentioned, like, you've been going on about this AI stuff. Because that dude made those comedy videos about us.
Yeah.
And you saw that too.
I mean, I'd make tons of AI videos.
I was talking to a media personality a few months ago who said, and it's not my business, but he was talking about how he's already preparing to do fully AI produced news videos.
Yeah.
So you will think you're watching him talk, and it's not going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, just even seeing that video today, like I've been making AI videos for maybe 6 months now, and the way it's changed just in the last 6 months, like how much better it's gotten. Like the video that guy made today, you couldn't make that 6 months ago.
Right.
We should maybe
So
we should play like 20 seconds for reference so people can see how
Well,
crazy it
yeah,
is.
well, I mean, we'll get into a full thing.
Oh,
Like,
we'll play it in the after show.
Yeah,
Go
we'll play
sign
it in
up.
the after Well, just because it's extremely graphic and not
Yeah.
for family.
yeah,
use.
but it is like it looks like almost.
It's clearly AI. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: you can go into ChatGPT right now and say, "I bet I could do this right now. Write me a comedy bit in the style of Ryan Long."
Yeah.
and it'll do it.
Yeah.
and then all you got to do is write that and then plug it into the video and say, "Make Ryan Long say this."
Yeah, it won't be as good for sure because it's at the end of the day, it's still derivative.
Right, it'll be
but-
better.
But you, but you say you're like, hey, you say it's obviously AI. To you, it is. It's obviously AI. Pop that thing up on Facebook and tell me people think it's obviously AI.
Right. I mean, but we're a year away from it being perfect.
Yeah.
So I played for Allison the AI video, and she was like, "Oh, I thought you recorded that as a joke."
yeah.
I told my parents.
Well, no, for sure. Like I had this one AI. I made this AI USAID 60 Minutes interview, and
great.
and I put that on Facebook. It went viral on Facebook. Not one person knew it was a joke, and then one person was like, "This can't be real. This is so crazy." And then this woman would go in the comments and be like, "This is real. This is what they're doing."
Wow.
You know, I just realized something crazy. So YouTube has this feature where you can upload alternate language tracks.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen this?
yeah.
What's stopping somebody from saying, "Okay, here, let's take a political issue, for instance. Let's talk about homeschooling or something." And then looking up the data on the opinion on homeschooling from Spanish speakers. Let's say, I don't know if this is true, but let's just say 80% of people who speak Spanish hate homeschooling. And they think people should be in school. Actually, let's invert it. 80% of Spanish speakers like homeschooling and want to be with the family. And then 80% of English speakers don't agree with homeschooling. What's to stop someone from making a video that's them saying in English, you could actually, here's the crazy thing, you could just show facts on homeschooling, and the English track says, homeschooling is not good. You shouldn't have your kids there. But if you play in Spanish, it says homeschooling is good.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah.
One video with two different messages
And
for
it's
different demographics.
the crazy thing is it's so cheap to make these videos. Like the compute required, like that video today, like $10 maybe $5 of compute, depending on how many times you need to render it. Like it's not even like prohibitive in any way. You don't need a special computer, nothing.
People were saying it's for people who want to watch it while we're talking. It's the real Dylan Danger on Twitter. You can find his stuff. He's great.
I don't know how we got into this, considering we were talking about
Because well, what I was to keep going, we'll probably realize why this came up as we keep going. That people keep saying, learn how to use AI. Learn how to use AI. The future is learning, because you're not going to have to do a show, dude. You just make your AI do it.
Well,
we were talking about decentralization in media and how it's going to become super isolated. And we're going to get to the point where, like, I swear, we're already seeing this now. It starts with edited videos, Donald Trump and the Very Fine People hoax. Now with AI, we're there. Like you were saying, go on Facebook and see if someone believes it's fake or not. They're going to believe it's absolutely real.
Yeah.
You can make whatever you
Have
want.
you ever seen that Alfred Hitchcock interview from like probably, I don't know, the 50s or something? And he's talking about the future of movies. And he's like, yeah, he's like, in the future, there's going to be a movie where you go to a theater and you're the main character. Right? Like, and for every person, they're the main character, and you watch this movie, and you're the main. And like he said this in like the 50s.
Those exist with VR. I've seen a movie where you like are going through the movie. You can 360 watch the movie.
No.
inside.
You're not inside of it. You're watching it, and you're the lead.
Or you can talk to them.
No. You're just watching a movie. It's a written movie. You're the lead. Like
You know,
it's about you.
I'll one up Hitchcock. I think we're to the point where it's going to be like a VR world video game movie where they're reacting to you in real time.
Yeah.
But your version, Hitchcock's version, may happen first.
But I'm saying he said that in the 50s, and now I'm like, yeah, because he did that in 5 years.
So right now, if I go to ChatGPT, there's a certain degree of like notoriety you have to have.
Yeah.
So if I wrote write a script about homeschooling in the style of Tim Pool. It actually does, and it's gotten better. Sure, here's a Tim Pool style script about homeschooling, mixing his signature tone of skepticism, cultural commentary, and populist edge.
Hey, it's
So here's the deal, guys. The public education system is collapsing, really. Test scores are plummeting, schools are pushing insane ideological garbage, and parents are fed up. And you know what? They're pulling their kids out in record numbers. Since 2020, homeschooling has nearly doubled. This is what it's claiming. Sounds like me.
Yeah.
I could see you saying this stuff.
And if I did all of my videos without me on camera, I could just have an AI voice
Sure.
do it.
Yeah, the problem is it's not going to make quite like the points that you want to make. It'll still be like a watered. Like I made this video. Did you see Elon Musk did that Tesla event recently, and it looked like he was doing stand up? Do you see that? Like, anyways, I made an AI because I was like, he looks like he's doing stand up. So then I made an AI video of him doing stand up. But then I wanted to be like kind of hacky. So then I went into Chat GPT and I was like, write me a hacky script of Elon Musk doing stand up. And it still wasn't good. Like in Grok, I'm like, this is even too bad.
Can you be like, make it better? Not good enough?
It's just like comedy. I know some comedians do use Grok and like AI for like ideas, but actually like the punchlines, all you're gonna get is like pretty generic stuff.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the helicopter thing because the main point here was, believe it or not, my friends, as we're dealing with a very tragic incident, prominent liberal activists are blaming Trump.
Yeah.
So you got Brooklyn.
You know, there was no helicopter crashes during the Biden administration.
The orange man is bad.
That's right. You got Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Is this actually his account? Because this looks like, 1.3 million followers. And he says, yet another deadly aviation incident under the Trump administration. It's only been 80 days, feel like years. You've got call to activism. Why the F is this happening so much after Trump became president? You got JoJo from Jers. Maybe we'd have fewer aviation accidents. The Secretary of hot tub sexportation. What was focusing his time?
I don't know what that's a reference to.
I don't know, but she's crazy.
Yeah. Also, aviation accidents are not up. Because when that plane flipped in Toronto, I have a group chat, and we were like, "Are aviations up?" And then accidents, and then we started looking into it, and they're not.
I can't remember one of the data. I think fatalities are up,
Yeah.
but the number of accidents is not. It's like,
I mean, a
these were
commercial airliner crashing in the United States is incredibly rare.
Yeah,
right.
I think before the one in DC where the helicopter collided with it or whatever, before that, the last one was the one in New York with like Sully. And then it was like,
yeah,
and then it was
2009.
9/11 before that. Like these aren't frequent occurrences.
You got to keep in mind too that if Boeing has been, remember that Boeing whistleblower came out and then like died. He was going to testify in front of Congress and was dead within a week.
Accidents happen.
Accidental suicide, I guess. But basically, that could be 10 years later. Like you see Boeing messing with their equipment or any airplane company. If there's malfeasance, you're not going to see it the same. Like if the administration overseeing that company was 8
I mean,
10, 12,
I have
15 years ago.
a guy, he's an airline mechanic, commercial airline mechanic that calls into my call-in show sometimes. And he told me, he's like, if for the commercial stuff, the regulations are so crazy. Like there's no corners being cut, like nothing. Like it's so strict. Most of the accidents are if someone owns like a Cessna and there's no requirements. You can maintain that however you want. And those are generally like,
Is that what happened with this helicopter? Is it private?
yeah, it's just like a tourism company.
bro, you ever go to Jersey City? I went to Jersey City with Allison, and they got a helicopter tour there, and it was scary.
Yeah.
Because it was like the helicopter is just a tin can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like we were sitting in it, and I'm just like, this is 2 millimeters of steel or
My
something.
dad told me once the Vietnam helicopter pilots would call it the Jesus bolt or the Jesus nut, that nut that holds the rotor in. And if
Yeah.
that thing comes out, you're praying to God that thing doesn't
Have you
come
been
out.
in a helicopter?
Negative.
No.
So just me and Tim.
Yeah, they got helicopter tours that fly over Jersey City, and it's pretty unnerving.
Yeah.
It's like a small
They
helicopter.
have the doors open and stuff.
Serge.
No, I don't
Some
think
of the New York ones, Manhattan, like you can open the door and really like
You're
feel
strapped
like
in?
you're strapped in, and you feel like you're just like above Manhattan kind of thing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, we all know this is purely political, and that Donald Trump and Doge somehow caused the aircraft to not.
Oh, I thought the same thing about Biden when that other plane crash happened. I'm just kidding. I don't joke a lot, so it sounds really weird when
Yeah, we can tell.
not on TV anyway.
Yeah, I think we're entrenched in decentralized media
Yeah.
as well as extreme tribalism.
Yeah. I mean, look, if a water main bursts, someone's going to be like, Trump.
Do you guys remember when what was that thing? Jackson Hinkle is his name, I think.
Yeah.
He came on our show.
We had him on before, but there was some tweet he had about GTA where he said it was woke because of Israel or something.
Okay.
It was something like that, and I'm just like, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Correct. Yeah.
Brooklyn Dad Defiant, JoJo from Jers, these other activists, these other liberals, they don't have anything else to talk about.
No.
So if something's big in the news, it has to be Donald Trump related.
Sure.
Which is fortunate for us because as we're politically minded and something's in the news, they made it Donald Trump related for us.
Sure.
I mean that somewhat facetiously,
know,
but it's kind of true.
I mean, when your approval rating's 20%. Or
Yeah,
whatever
the
it is for
Democrats are
right now.
suffering.
I mean, they're just grasping at straws right now. They go, I don't know, is this something?
Yeah.
A helicopter crash?
An earthquake's going to happen. It's like today was a particularly slow news day.
Orange man bad earthquake.
Yeah, they're going to be like the earthquake happened because Donald Trump is fracking.
Yeah.
like they're going to find a
of
way to
course.
make it their the thing.
You make a good point that it makes it easy for shows like this to persist because outside influences like make it political. So you make money off of it. People want to. We already know what we're talking about with politics. A lot of times, I mean, you particularly know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So
and look, there's
but
people on
it's
the
not-
right who do the same thing.
What's that?
Like, there's people on the right when Biden was in office and that happened.
Yeah.
They go, oh, Biden did this. You go, it's just like,
So it's profitable, and it's like, yeah, well, I'm going to ride this cow, but at the same time, it's not healthy for the psyche, the human psyche, to
no,
constantly be
it's also like
refocusing
a
on politics.
Family
That's
of
kind a
5
problem.
died, and you're like, yeah, Trump. You're like, all right.
Yeah,
a
I just came in and they were playing catch down there. Did you guys see that? You guys were down there playing catch. They're playing wiffle ball, baseball,
foam ball,
and it reminded
a
me
grand
of-
slam.
of just throwing a ball back and forth. And like, how many kids? We're talking about kids with social anxiety and problems. How many kids throw catch
None.
these days? That's a big problem because that is the most ancient human evolutionary thing we have is throwing. It
Yeah.
separated us from the rest of the animal kingdom.
That's why I'm like, with everything Trump's doing, I'm just like, bring it on.
Yeah.
This country needs a cultural hard reset or something. So me and the boys were in Chicago. This was over Christmas, and we were walking around downtown. And we came across this building that had ledges and stuff, and I was like, wow, you could skate here. And I'm like, where are all the kids at? And my buddies from Chicago were like, kids don't go outside anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
They're skating in Roblox.
they're not doing anything at all. They're literally sitting indoors doing nothing.
Just rotting on a computer somewhere.
Dude, it's going to be really weird in 20 years. Like, people don't understand the scrolling, the TikTok generation. Look, it's one thing when we're like the podcast generation, where the media we consume is long form conversations, 2 hours long, and we all bragged about it for years. We were like, we don't watch these sound bites on Fox News and MSNBC and CNN. We get hours long, deep conversation from prominent individuals. And now it's right back to people are swiping through YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, and they're getting their news in 30-second clips that are often completely out of context.
The movie industry too apparently is evolving to 1 minute shorts. Like it'll be a 90-minute movie, there'll be 91 minute shorts, and that's the movie.
Awful.
You know, you were saying the things have devolved back into swiping. There's a reason why, you know, network news became what it was, right? Like there used to be 60 Minutes that had like longer form interviews and stuff like that. But the reason is because people don't want to pay attention to long. Not that there isn't an audience, because obviously Joe Rogan's still out there and there are still podcasts that do. But the majority of people find it easiest to consume news like that.
Yeah.
Small bits. What do I need to know? And so that way I can get through my
tons
day
of
or
little
whatever.
dopamine hits, and you go
Exactly.
on to here's some sports highlights. Here's a
Yeah, and I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying that there aren't people that are looking for long form stuff, because obviously there are tons of people, but young people that aren't interested in the getting into in-depth stuff, they're going to be looking for give me the little bit of news as fast as I possibly can. And that's why, again, it went from that kind of format on the news with 3-minute hits on your hour long or half hour long news program. Now people went to the big long form, and now it's back to you know TikTok stuff.
You know what's interesting is I was just thinking about like the actual physical tribalism. You get a big continent like the United States and you get a bunch of tribes, and what happens? Well, depending on the density of the population, one person conquers all those other tribes, right?
yeah.
So I was thinking, like, is there a reality, is there a possibility where with all of the media spaces decentralizing and people getting their news and information from smaller and smaller channels, will there be a point at which one person comes and dominates every platform? No, it's not possible in the media landscape.
Like you got Daily Wire tries to like bring big talents in and create an umbrella. Rumble is sort of, but it's a platform, so it's not really claiming ownership.
Yeah,
of
it's just a
anything.
platform.
But this
It's
is
a distribution network.
So Rumble this is different. I'm saying Will it come to a point where everybody turns to one person for
No,
news?
there's just so many options. Like, everybody has such varied tastes, and, everybody likes different things. And
I think the reality is that people are just going to choose to listen to what makes them feel good.
yeah, I mean, some people still like to watch MSNBC, all 30,000 of them. They still
I
like
heard
it.
today people don't follow. This is from Chase Hughes. He's great. He's brilliant, like ex-military behavioral scientist, and he's saying that people don't. I think it was Chase saying this. People don't follow the best person. They follow the one that's giving them the clearest command, direction, and that can.
I mean, for me, like I'll follow somebody, and then the moment I catch them and where I'm like, this is a trusted source, and then I catch them in something that's obviously a lie, and I go, okay, I can't trust you anymore.
But I think we MSNBC still has viewers.
of course,
So even when you can, and people talk about this all the time with their parents, are like, I can show my aunt the video and she doesn't care. So there will be factions of people who are interested in nuanced conversation, but I think it's substantially less than most people realize.
yeah. And if you look at MSNBC's ratings, like probably the 25 to 49 demo is not looking good. Like it's only a matter of time.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's probably like 10,000.
I'm fascinated with the other segment of people. Like you got the people that are falling into the 1 minute short, 30-second soundbite reality, and then these other people are going like 2 times speed, 2.5 times speed, or like 1.75, whatever. You watch long form faster.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting evolution. And it's like these
Well,
people
soon we're
are
just gonna be
evolving
able
in
to
different
upload
ways.
the whole thing to your brain.
And just
Soon it's just gonna be like
Crash the memory.
full Rogan episode, 4-hour talk, and just goes.
that's true.
it.
I mean, if you can just bend the pathways to form the
you
memory.
you just like brute force it into your brain.
It's the read write thing. That
Play at it like times 9 million
Man,
speed, and it's just in there.
I've been looking at a bunch of different like American subcultures, and it's not just media. Media's obviously the space we're in right now. And so I can say like people are getting their views from a bunch of different people every single day. New channels emerge, new audiences emerge, and over a long enough period of time, more channels means less market share for everybody else. But it's affecting literally everything, right? Somebody was super chatting about Frisbee golf, having like no audience and having no money. There's no American pastime anymore.
No.
Like obviously it was baseball for a while.
Baseball's still doing okay.
It's doing okay, but I don't know how many people. I mean, it's literally. I'm not saying nobody does. I'm saying I don't know how many people are actually going to these events anymore.
I mean, actually, you know what? The MLB just canceled their deal with ESPN because the ratings were abysmal. And
Wow.
and they were like charging them, money based off of like 10 years ago viewership.
But that's what I'm saying because, we've been talking about maybe going to a baseball game for a long time. We should never do it,
Dude, watching AI is going to make you plenty of baseball games.
Oh man, I have the Oculus, and they have this thing where I can't remember what it's called, but it's an app, and there's the NHL and the NBA. There's like an MMA one where like for the NHL one, you're literally on the glass, like first row on the glass, and then when the puck goes down the ice, it just like a camera switches, and you're at center ice. And then when the puck gets to the other end of the ice, now you're back on the glass, like first row. It's incredible. Like when you see it and you go like, man, this is borderline preferable to going to a game.
the AI stuff is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying for a while, it's closer than we realize. Where you're gonna have Disney. It's going to be called like procedural Disney or something. There may be a better word than that for marketing
What do
purposes.
they call it? Disney World.
Yep. Disney Life.
They should.
And you're gonna open up your app on the TV and you're gonna click the microphone button and say, Spider-Man and Hulk Hogan are best friends, and it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like processing, and it's gonna take a few minutes, and then it's gonna make the movie.
Could you imagine you go to VR theme park and it's a complete world that it's not.
Oh, yeah.
There's no borders like at the theme park.
AI generated virtual realities.
Oh, for sure. There was a video I saw this week actually of some guy. He made like Tom and Jerry videos. Did you see those? Someone made AI Tom and Jerry videos. Now the prompts for them, like the future of dominating this stuff is gonna be for the people who can like figure out how to prompt it properly. Because the prompts were like insane, like literally pages of prompts to get these like 2-minute videos. But the videos were amazing.
So do they use AI to write the prompts? For
No.
Can you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
No. I that's how I make. So I've been posting comics to my Instagram, and all like the purists are angry. They're like, "This is AI garbage. Don't do it." But they convey the idea that I want, and so what I do is, I'll go in ChatGPT and I'll say, I'll write a short paragraph about the idea, but I never tell it to make the comic. It wastes your time. What I tell it to do is write a script like this. And so for the comic I made yesterday, where it's the guy who walks up to X, the headquarters, he says, "What's this?" Then he goes inside, everyone's screaming at the top of their lungs. Then he's like, "What the hell?" And then he runs out and he's like collapsing. I wrote, a man goes to X, HQ. When he goes inside, everyone's screaming, "Ah!" He then freaks out as everyone's yelling at him. And then the next panel is him on the ground with his hands on his head. Write the script. It writes it out. And then you have to go in and say, okay, change this and change this and change this because it gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Then you tell it to generate the comic, and then 15 iterations later, it makes one that's viable.
Right. And you got to put in the camera, like the stuff, like you have to put in the prompts, like camera moves like this way, like tracks this person. Like it's got to be incredibly specific.
So you'd probably build an AI that is like a center mode AI that you could be like, all right, AI, write me a script for Suno, and you designate what other AI program it's going to be writing the script for, and then it'll be able to.
It's called agentic AI, so it's going to be an AI that's specifically for making videos, right? Like that's one of the things that they're working on now. There's not likely going to be an AGI in the very near future, but some kind of agentic AI, an agent, something that does something for you. That kind of stuff is getting really, really good. And so you'll have an AI that knows how to make videos. So you'll be able to give it basic prompts, and then it'll do a lot of the behind the scenes work for you because it's designed specifically to make videos. And then you're going to eventually have AI in your phone that knows how to operate your phone. So you'll say, it'll be like, the whole like, hey, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to turn everyone's machines on. But you tell your phone, I want to go to New York this weekend. I need a flight. I need a hotel. I need a ride to and from the airport. And I want to eat sushi when I get there. And it'll do all that stuff.
That probably already...
Well, the thing is, it can't pay for it yet.
Oh, it can't pay for it.
It can do the itinerary,
right?
But when that's why you have to have the cross availability in the phone, so that way it can use all the apps in your phone to do all of the things.
Yeah, we're not far from that.
That stuff is very, very close. And so, like agentic AI will do all the stuff that Tim's talking about, how he has to be really detailed, or that Danny was talking about. You have to be really detailed. That detail will become something that AI handles for you.
Yeah, it'll almost start prompting you.
Yes,
it'll say like, do you want this? Do you want this? So you won't even need to know the prompts because it'll essentially say, what about this? What about this? And you'll just have a conversation, and then it'll be like, how about this?
And the same thing for script writing.
Everything.
Bounce back at you and be like, well, what do you think if you tried?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.